Fight Fiend Forecast. I am Joseph, the host, back for another full card prediction show for UFC Vegas 92. Back at the Apex. Okay, we got a banger card. This card is not stacked top to bottom like the last card. The last card, you know what? We'll do a quick recap here because I had 4 picks right. The lock streak is done. The head is shaved. And I'm going to show you the video I made. I put it in my Discord. I put it on Instagram, so make sure you join Discord absolutely free and follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all platforms to make sure you see all this kind of content. We are back. The streak has ended. Rebellious Dej Pain has made it super painful for me as a capper, as a fan of the UFC. I was super confident in him. Once again, a fighter with low experience loses it for me. Reminds me of Walter Walker. The locks were dirty, the dogs were dirty. Now it's time to shave my head. Like I said, I'm a man of my word. I was going to chicken out, but God damn it. Let's do this thing, Ma. Start cutting her. Better than losing money, though. I gotta say, I'd rather shave my head than lose a couple $1,000s. We took a $200 hit. Didn't go as heavy on the locks this week, but it's never good losing money, let's be honest. We're looking to crush the locks, and most importantly, the streak. The streak is gone. The hair is gone. The flow. We're gonna have to reassess. Rejoice, regroup, rejuvenate, and get some fucking revenge. My hairdresser's smoking crack. Jesus!
Feel it now?
Should have just went to First Choice Hair Cutters. My hair won't cut, maybe we should keep it.
We can't keep this.
My hair's resisting. I wish Rebellious would have resisted a little bit better than he did. Yeah. If Rebellious would have had a little bit more resistance.
Yeah, your hair's putting up more of a fight than he did.
Ow! I didn't sign up for this. I just wanted to get my hair cut. I didn't hit from the pipe that you had today, Ma. Like a fucking lawnmower.
I should have grabbed the whippersnapper.
Ow! What the fuck are you doing back there? You're ripping my head. You're like tugging it. You're a tug of war. Finally, it's coming off better. Layer by layer. Thank you everybody for watching the Fight Fiend Forecast each and every week. Before you go, make sure to smash that like button. It was not just a quick and easy shave. It was pretty painful. My hair was getting tugged. It wasn't getting cut very clean at the start. It was just a shit show, to be honest. Just like fucking UFC St. Louis. A shit show. It was stacked. It was a great card for entertainment-wise. And obviously that video I just showed you was pure entertainment as well. St. Louis was entertaining, but we did not make any money. So we're going to have to bounce back, get revenge here on the bookies. So let's start it off here at the Apex with a women's fight. Emily Ducote, 13-8, and Vanessa Demopoulos, 10-5. Now, Demopoulos is coming in here, $3 underdog. Her last fight got the win against a 12-2 opponent. Unanimous decision, looked pretty good. Her loss was to Karolina Kowalkiewicz, who in her last fight looked horrible. So that's not a very good loss to have. 3 fights before that, she had a couple wins. Maria Oliveira, 13-5. Jin Yun Fry beat her. She was 11-6 though. Only beat her by a split decision. And then she's actually submitted Silva Gomez-Guarez, 10-3. So I think Demopoulos has some value as an underdog. She's 5 years older, has some experience, but she's lacking a reach advantage on the feet. Emily could have her way against Ashley Yoder. She looked pretty good, got the decision win. Yoder had a big reach advantage in that fight, but it didn't matter. Now, Emily with a reach advantage might be a little bit dangerous. I might have to go with the dog, though, because before that Yoder fight, she lost 2 fights by a decision to Lupita Godinez and Angela Hill. Now, can Vanessa do what Angela Hill did? Maybe. A lot of people on Tapology have Vanessa Demopoulos. She could be the underdog of the week for most people. 60% is quite a bit of people predicting her to win, but 700 people on Tapology submitted their picks. So it's hard to say. It's a 50-50 fight. I'll take the underdog for now, but on the feet, Emily could win this fight by a decision. I'd play it over 1.5, over 2.5, fight to go the distance, play the points on the underdog. You know, it's a great play. We're going to talk about the next fight now. We don't want to be wasting too much time on this card. Like, this card is not stacked. There's some decent fights, yes, but, you know, you got a women's fight, then you got a bantamweight fight, a women's fight, a middleweight fight with some pretty dusty guys, to be honest, and then a women's fight, then some debuting heavyweights that just got literally put together last minute here. And then you got a guy that is a 4-1 underdog, and he's fighting a guy that was a huge favorite and lost his first fight in the UFC, Tom Nolan. Okay, remember that? Yes. And then we got another women's fight. Yanez is back. So yeah, the card's all right. Okay, but next up, the bantamweight fight between AlatengHeili and Kleydson Rodrigues. You know, it's going to be a clash. Do I think AlatengHeili as an underdog can win? No, I do not. He lost his last fight and got beaten up to Chris Gutierrez. He lost to Casey Kenny as well, who has not been in the UFC lately. His only 2 wins are to Chad and Helliger, my Canadian, yes, and Kevin Kroom. Knocked out Kevin Kroom. Like, a broom could knock out Kevin Kroom. So, Kleydson Rodrigues losing to Fareed Basharat in his last fight isn't that bad. First round submission loss. On the ground, AlatengHeili can have some control time, can use his wrestling, but I don't think he can sink in a rear naked choke or arm triangle or anything like that. And Kleidson's durable. He's super durable, super accurate, high fighter's IQ. He lost the decision by split to CJ Vergara, though. Like, he's losing some fights, man. He needs to get it together. He looked good against Shannon Ross, but how much value can we hold in that win? Shannon Ross is 13-6. Got knocked out in the first couple punches, first 30 seconds, and I knew he was dog water. So, before the UFC, Kleydson won a decision against a 6-1 opponent and submitted a 5-0 opponent. So I think Kleydson can get this done. Maybe he's pissed off after that submission loss, comes out here, looks for a submission of his own. We've seen it against that 5-0 opponent 4 years ago, though. I got to think it's going to be a decision. Hard-fought decision. Both these guys are going to grind it out. Could be close. If you think it's going to be close, if it's going the distance, you take AlatengHeili possibly by a decision. You could take my play, though, of going Kleydson Rodrigues. I think he's going to be the better fighter. It should be a high-confidence pick for me, him by a decision, but anything can happen. It's mixed martial arts. It's a crazy sport, man. Crazy sport. I'm going Kleydson for the win, though. And the next fight, it's another women's fight. Yes, Piera Rodrigues and Ariane Carnelossi, who's coming back after 2 years. And she lost to Lupita Godinez as well by a decision. Now, she had 2 wins before that. Submitted Estela Nunes, who was 6-1, who is now not looking too great, and then knocked out Na Liang, who was 19-4, but now she's not looking too great. She's an underdog, plus 145, and I do like Carnelossi, okay? She's tough. She looks like a brick shithouse. And her other loss was to Angela Hill by a knockout due to a cut. Though, to Angela Hill. I mean, that's not a good look. I understand that. Piera Rodrigues, though, got submitted to Jillian Robertson. Her first ever loss. How is she going to react after that loss? It's hard to say. Tapology says 80% Piera Rodrigues decision, which is insane. Ariane Carnelossi is very tough. She could come in here after 2 years looking career best and get this finish. It wouldn't surprise me at all. I'd take another women's underdog in this fight. The last 4 women's underdogs I took all missed. Some of them look good, made it competitive, but eventually one of them are going to cash in. And I'm not just taking her because she's the dog. It is a systems play, but look at her versus Piera Rodrigues. I honestly think, truly, honestly do think she can finish her by submission, by knockout. Piera Rodrigues on the ground has some holes. We know that. She got submitted to Jillian Robertson, who is very good on the ground, but Ariane Carnelossi, she has some tricks up her sleeve too. Coming back after 2 years, I think she might look career best. I'll take another women's underdog shot here. The hell with it. Let's do it. We're going against 80% of people on Tapology. We'll see how it goes. Last week didn't go too good. So, do what you want on this one. Do what you want. Next up, Abus Magomedov, Warlley Alves. I mean, you're going to have to do what you want on this one. Whatever you're feeling, whatever you're thinking after doing research. Both of them have lost their last couple fights. Alves has lost his last 4 to 5. Abus has won 3 of his last 5 and lost his last 2. Okay, he came into the UFC and beat Dustin Stolfus, and then he got handed Sean Strickland, got knocked out, and then he lost to Caio Berhalo by a decision, got dominated 6 months ago. Abus could be a fraud. He's looking like a fraud. He does have power, but Warlley Alves has beat guys like Colby Covington, knocked out Munir Lazez in his last fight with body kicks and ground and pound 3 years ago. That was his last win by finish. If you like the dog, I think you play it by finish. I honestly do. They're both 33. Abus is questionable. He's going to have to really land a shot in that first round. And Ikram Aliskerov? Yeah, I was taking Ikram Aliskerov in the first round to win that fight, but Abus, I'm not sure. There's levels to this game. And Nicholas Dalby went to a split decision with Warlley Alves. Warlley Alves is a tough buck. He's still 33. Now, if you look at his last 10 fights, last 15, he beat Colby Covington, right? That might be a little too far back. That was in 2015. First round guillotine. And the fight before that, he had a guillotine in the second round. A couple fights before that, he had 2 guillotines in the first and third round. Like, his guillotine is dangerous. His uppercut, his body kicks, ground and pound. He can find a way to get this finish. Lost his last 3. It's now or never. If he can't beat Abus, he ought to be gone, I think. Alves ought to be gone if he can't beat Abus. Because, Abus against Caio didn't look great. Got taken down. If Alves gets a takedown, I'm worried for Abus. I don't think he's getting back up. Second round, third round, I think Abus gasses. Where Warlley Alves can continue to put on that pressure, be relentless, and be a junkyard dog. I honestly think he gets this job done. This could look a lot like last week, and I have 4 picks right, but I got to go with my true instinct. So whatever you're doing on this fight, do what you want. I'm going Warlley Alves for a finish here. Don't feel great about it, but at the end of the day, I got to make a pick. I got to do a video and make my pick, and I cannot pick Abus Magomedov as a fucking 3-1 favorite. I can't do it, won't do it. I'm taking Warlley Alves for the win here. Let's go. And now we got another women's fight in the bantamweight division now between Tamires Vidal and Melissa Gatto. Gatto's back in action. She's a big favorite. Vidal getting counted out. She's another girl. Coming into the UFC, looked very good. Had a couple knockout finishes, a couple easy decision wins, but she lost a split decision to Monstrat Rendon in her last fight. Not a good look. Should have probably edged that one out. She could have worked a little bit harder. And now she's getting, in my opinion, a tougher matchup. Melissa Gatto is much better than fucking Monstrat Rendon, in my opinion. Tamires Vidal, her win by knockout was to Ramona Pascal, 6-4. Melissa Gatto is levels above her as well. Sometimes when you see the price, and it's such a heavy favorite, or you see a fighter that should be an underdog and they're priced as a favorite, you gotta agree with the bookies. Sometimes they know something we don't. Sometimes they know something we don't. Obviously, paying 4-1 for Gatto isn't great, but if you play her by a decision, you can get more value there, and that's how I think she gets it done. Hedge bet it with her by a submission, though, because Vidal, on the ground, I think has some holes in her game, and she can get submitted. Melissa Gatto for a submission, if there's value on it, I'd take it. It could be a nice little sprinkle bet to make on this card. There's not many bets to make. I won't be making many, but Melissa Gatto is catching my attention for a potential submission or just go heavy on that decision. She's going to be a high confidence pick for me this week, but at 4-1, I don't know if I can play her money line. That's just a little sketchy. And the next fight is a fight that just got put together here. Oumar Sy, he had 2 or 3 fights canceled Now he's finally fighting a guy stepping in here. He's just stepping in here now, 10-3. And if you look at his last 3 wins, 19-10, 1-7. The 1-7 he knocked him out clearly 8 months ago. 2 months ago he knocked out a 19-10 opponent. His loss was to the road to the UFC to Ming Yang Zhang, who's very tough, very, very tough. I think there's going to be a little size discrepancy. I think Oumar will be quicker. He has a better skill set as well. He's going to be much more skilled and equipped when it comes to grappling and striking, in my opinion. And he has a bigger reach advantage by a wide margin here. 8 inches, which is a huge discrepancy here. Tuco, Tokkos, whatever his name is, does not have a big reach advantage. He's stepping in here trying to get a opportunity at the UFC, but I don't think it's going good for him, man. He's going to get knocked out in the first round, and Oumar Sy should be a real prospect to look out for. I'm interested to see what he looks like, and I have to put money on him. I just have to. He's going to knock this guy out. He's undefeated, fighting a 10-3 opponent, stepping in on short notice, who just beat a guy that was 1-7 and took a 3-2 opponent to a decision. Like, no way in hell he's going to make this fight close. I'm going Oumar Sy, high confidence for a first round knockout. It's going to be a quick prediction here because there's not much to talk about. They just put this fight together. Didn't watch tape yet, but there will be money on Oumar Sy. There's no doubt about it. And next up, this guy is a 4-1 favorite. Tom Nolan versus Victor Martinez. Martinez, this guy here, just got knocked out to Jordan Leavitt. Like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. Nicholas Mota got the knockout against Tom Nolan, though. But Nicholas Mota's a dog. He hits hard. He had a lot of losses. He needed the win there. And he found it, obviously. He knocked Tom Nolan's ass out there. But before that, Tom Nolan was looking good. 11-1 on the Contender Series, knocked him out. Left hook and ground and pound. Before the Contender Series, he beat a 9-6. A little bit lower level. 7-1 before that. And then a 2-0. So, mid-level competition. So, we don't really know what he's going to be like. Is he going to have better striking than Jordan Leavitt? Like, I would hope so. So, I would take him to win here. But at 4-1, not too confident. Again, because like Victor Martinez here, the brick on the Contender Series, beat a guy that was 13-6. Before that, beat a guy that was 15-7, 7-2, and 7-4 by split. So he knocked out the guy that was 7-2. You never know what could happen here. Like I said, it's MMA. And at this price, not seeing much out of Tom Nolan inside the UFC octagon. I can't bet on him. I can't make him a lock of the week or go heavy, anything like that. But for the pick, I'm going Tom Nolan by knockout. Probably in the second round, though. He's going to feel him out after getting knocked out in that first round. And then in that second round, he's going to put on the pressure, walk him down, find the finish by knockout. Tom Nolan's the pick, but 4-1, like 5-1. We'll see. He should easily win this fight, no doubt about it. But we've seen him lose before at 4-1 against Nicholas Mota. But like I said at the start of this prediction, Nicholas Mota lost a couple fights. He was a dog, and he just grinded that fight out, found the finish. Victor Martinez, I don't think he's going to do that. And I honestly don't think he has the power to find the finish either. I got to go Tom Nolan. High confidence. But the price, man, the price. It's hard to play that money line. Super hard to play the money line. Maybe round 1, round 2, we play the props, and hopefully we get paid. And the next fight, we got a strawweight fight between Angela Hill, Luana Pinheiro. You know, I can't go with another underdog here, Luana Pinheiro. This is the one where I take the favorite, Overkill, Angela Hill. Gets the win here. Looking to get back-to-back wins after that big win to Denise Gomes. Unanimous decision. Denise Gomes, 8-2. Gave her a go, but just was not enough. Wasn't even close. At 39 years old, Angela Hill has proven that she still has it. She has a little bit left in the tank. I don't think it's it for her yet. She lost the decision to Mackenzie Dern, who is a level above Luana Pinheiro. She also lost to Verna Jandiroba. That was nearly 2 years ago. And Verna is better than Mackenzie Dern and Luana Pinheiro. So, very good losses recently for Angela Hill. She's been active. She beat Emily Ducote, Lupita Godinez, and Denise Gomes, I think Luana Pinheiro is the next victim. She just got knocked out in her last fight to Amanda Ribas. I think she's going to be a little bit hesitant, cautious, and just on the back foot. She's not going to be pressuring forward enough where Angela Hill is going to walk her down, pressure forward the whole fight. She knows how to win fights. At 39, she has the experience. And I'm taking Angela Hill for a decision. You could sprinkle on that knockout, and it's not because Angela Hill has some crazy power or anything like that or a bunch of knockout wins. It's because Luana Pinheiro got knocked out in her last fight. Angela Hill does have a couple knockouts on her resume, and her last 3 wins, all by a decision. So if she's going to get a fluky win by a knockout, it could be against a girl that just got knocked out. You never know. Angela Hill by KO could be worth the sprinkle, but I got to think she wins this by a decision. And it's crazy because this is one that 60% of people on Tapology are going Pinheiro, but this time I do not agree. And next up, we got a banger between Adrian Yanez and Vinicius Salvador. This is one we shouldn't miss. They're going to be throwing hands at each other, and 96% of people have Adrian Yanez on Tapology. Do I need to talk about it too long? Vinicius Salvador lost his last 2 fights to lower level competition than Adrian Yanez was fighting. CJ Vergara lost a unanimous decision and lost a unanimous decision to Victor Altamirano. Adrian Yanez got knocked out to Rob Font and to Jonathan Martinez. He's bouncing back. He's getting a win. His hands are heavy. He knocked out Tony Kelly. He won a split decision against Davey Grant. And those heavy hands also knocked out Randy Costa and sent him right out of the UFC. I mean, Adrian Yanez has to bounce back. This is it. He can't lose 3 in a row. He can't lose to this from Brazil. Like, CJ Vergara and Victor Altamirano are not good losses. They're lower level. They're on a different spectrum than Adrian Yanez. Yanez is 2 or 3 levels above Vinicius Salvador in this fight. He's going to show it. He should get the finish in the first round. He's a 4-1 favorite now, plus 275 on the other side for Vinicius Salvador. It's kind of going to be a silly pick if you're taking him to win on this card here. There's some underdogs that are going to be live, but Vinicius Salvador, he's not going to be alive for too long in this fight. That's just my opinion. I'm going Adrian Yanez, first round, KO. Most confident pick on the card, probably for everybody. 96% of people on Tapology have him to win, and a lot think he's going to get the KO. I don't need to talk about this fight much longer. And the next fight we're breaking down, it's Themba Gorimbo and Ramiz Brahimaj. And Ramiz is coming back after 2 years and 2 months. And he won that last fight against Michael Gilmore, 6-4 by a submission. His last win was by a submission as well, 6-3 though. The level of competition, really not the best. He hasn't been active. Can he still compete in the UFC? He lost to Court McGee by a unanimous decision 2 years ago as well, and he lost to Max Griffin by knockout. Had an ear injury. Now he's coming back against a hungry and determined Themba Gorimbo. Gorimbo did get submitted to AJ Fletcher, but he has only improved since then. He beat Takashi Sato, unanimous decision, and then he knocked out Pete Rodrigues. Looked damn good in that fight. His overhand right sat him down, and then he finished it off with ground and pound. So Themba has some striking that is underrated now. His grappling is pretty good. He's a big size. He has a big reach advantage. I think he wins this fight. He's a bigger frame, bigger body. He's working hard. He's going to be determined to get the win. It could just be a decision. He might not get the finish, but he's a pretty confident pick for me. 90% of people on Tapology, once again, have him to win. Now, I can't go against the group of people on Tapology picking him to win, to be honest. After doing my research, seeing him fight the last couple fucking 2 years, I think he's going to be seasoned, ready to go. I looked at Ramiz Brahimaj on Instagram, tried to look into him. He's super pumped up, ready to get back into the octagon, but he's coming back from an injury. He just started training last year, October 2023. I don't think he's going to be ready to grind it out with Themba Gorimbo. Gorimbo for the win here. That's my play. Co-main event, Khaos Williams, Carlston Harris. I mean, fuck, man. Khaos Williams, take him to win here. Don't love the pick. He's a more intimidating fighter. He won his last fight against a young and tough Rolando Bedoya, where a lot of people had Bedoya, very confident in him, but he He didn't get the job done. Khaos proved he's still very good. He lost a split to Randy Brown, so people obviously didn't see value in that loss. And before that split decision, he had 2 big wins. Miguel Beza knocked him out. Beza was 10-1. And then he beat Matthew Semlisberger, who was 8-2, by unanimous decision. I could see Khaos getting this done by a decision. Carlson's tough. He got beat up against Jeremiah Wells in the first 2 rounds. No doubt about it. 3rd round, Jeremiah gassed out and got submitted. I don't think Khaos Williams is going to gas. I think he's bringing 15 minutes of cardio, pressure, and powerful punches. I think he's going to do the more damage on the feet. He can keep the fight on the feet as well, stuff takedowns, maybe get some cage control up against the fence, show that he's a more dominant fighter, the more powerful guy, and I think he's getting it done. This fight is priced hella close, so it's pretty well a coin flip. Carlston Harris won his last 2 fights, but like I said, Jeremiah Wells gassed out, and then he fought Jared Gooden, who was coming back to the UFC. I think they were giving Carlston Harris a win there. Before that, they gave him a loss to Shavkat Rakhmonov. He got knocked out with a spinning hook kick and then got finished off with ground and pound. His striking isn't the best. It showed it in that fight. He has some holes in his striking defense, and I'm not saying Khaos is going to knock him out. Could happen. Easily could happen. But Khaos should win this by a decision if he can't find that KO. Either way, I'm going against Topology again. 65% of people say Carlston Harris. That's my opinion. If you don't like it, it's a 50-50 fight. It's okay to disagree. I'm not going to have every pick right. Last week I had 4 picks right, so it is what it is. The main event, though, the lock of the week, Derek Lewis, he won. That's 2 favorites in a row. The underdog BS is probably done with because Edson Barboza is losing this fight. Lerone Murphy is the better fighter. He's the younger fighter. He has more energy in the tank. I think he can go 25 minutes. I think he can be the better striker, keep it on the feet. Edson in the first round didn't look good against Sodiq Yusuff, but then he came back. But his weight cut is tough. Tough weight cut for Edson Barboza at 145, where Lerone in the 4th and 5th, I think, will be absolutely fine. He might even finish Edson Barboza. He has powerful punches. He won his last fight by a decision. The fight before that against Gabriel Santos, won that by a split decision, and then he knocked out Amakwan Murakami. A lot of people aren't going to take him by a knockout in this fight. Edson Barboza might be a favorable pick, especially by KO. He's a GOAT. I understand that. One of the best of all time. Entertaining to watch. Respect for the guy. He was my pick last time against Sodiq Yusuff. Cash me some money. Lerone is 13-0-1. He's looked damn good. He beat Douglas Silva de Andrade as well 3 years ago. Unanimous decision. That's a tough hitter there. Survived that fight. I got to think Lerone Murphy survives this one as well. Gets the job done. He could find a finish. He could win it on every single judge's scorecard. Or he could win it by split. No matter what, I'll take him to win. I'll take the money line. I think the underdog's winning in the main event is done with. For now, we're going to see 3 favorites in a row win. And that's what it is. It's going to be a favorable pick, Edson Barboza, but I can't do it. I'm going to fade it. He's 38. He's slowing down. The weight cuts are tough. And I trust in 13-0-1 Lerone Murphy. Undefeated, never lost an actual fight. And yes, he could lose to the OG Edson Barboza, but I don't see it. I don't see it. Now, I'm not locking in anything yet. If you want to know who the locks are, who the dogs are, join Discord absolutely free. Join Patreon for $5 a month. Exclusive early access to the locks and dogs, the platinum picks with the confidence levels, method of victories, and all my bets for UFC Vegas 92. Now, before you go, what you got to do is comment your most confident prop at plus money. Just one prop, one outcome. Your most confident one on this card. I know it's going to be tough to find a confident prop. Even if it's not a confident prop, give me your most valuable prop. A long shot. You could take like Warlley Alves by sub. You could take Carnelossi by sub. You could give me AlatengHeili by sub. You could give me Tuco Taco there by knockout in the first round. Or just in the first round, whatever you want to do. I mean, there's lots of options. Adrian Yanez, if you can find a prop at him for plus money, give it to me. I mean, give me your most confident prop at plus money and put hashtag forecast of the week. I'm going to choose one comment, make you the forecast of the week. I do this each and every full card prediction video, and I make content up for the one comment that I pick, and I also make a bet on the comment that I pick. So last week, shout out to Danielle Brooks. She had it right. Charles Johnson, he won a decision. Super easy. Easy cash for her. The forecast of the week, I gave you two options. There was one great, phenomenal, terrific, easy option. Lock of the week as well. I seen a forecaster say, so look in the comments. Look at some of the forecasts of the week. You know, even if I don't choose a comment this week, there's so many good options out there. Forecasters are commenting below. I appreciate it so much. Make sure before you go as well, smash that like button, suplex the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. And drop a comment about something that's not a prop. Say hello. Say something about the video, something you liked, something you didn't like, anything. You don't have to give me just a forecast of the week comment. Love to hear from the forecasters. I know the card kind of stinks. It's not stacked. The picks were horrible last week, 4 out of 12. But I need to get revenge. It's not a great card to get revenge on, so let's just play it safe. Secure some bankroll. Manage the bankroll wisely. And just stop locking in locks that only have 1 or 2 fights in the UFC. That's the second time. Walter Walker, now Robelius Dej Payne. I was 7 in a row. 7 in a row. Fuck. Lock streak will get reignited. It will. On this card, maybe not. If you want to know, join Discord, join Patreon right now. Because I'm going to cook something up.